The question is, how do you slow your hips down and get it to feel like your arms are coming down first? Well, it really all depends on where you are at the top of the swing. And if you look at the two examples here, this is Tiger Woods when he was an amateur versus last week at Pebble Beach, and it has to be a different move based on where they are at the top of the swing. So his old swing, he's a long way back and a long way around with his shoulders. With the changes he's made, he's staying a lot more forward and not going around as much. So that's going to really dictate what has to go first and how much the hips have to how fast and how much the hips have to turn or clear to be able to get back to impact. So you see with his old one, because of where he is at the top, he has to drive the hips a lot and he has to spin them a lot to be able to just get back somewhere near that line that I've drawn there, which he never gets to. And you can see what happens to his leg, and what we all know what happened to his knee as a result of his old hip movement. So what he's doing now is his hips don't really need to do as much because they're already pretty close to where they need to be at impact. It's just a small bump forward, which makes it look like the arms can just drop down, and the hips don't look like they have to move as fast or as violently. So his foot and leg at impact are much different, and he's much better on what's happening with his knee through there. So once again, that will all come back to where it starts from. It has to be the setup, and it has to be the amount of turn, and which will dictate all those things. So really, to answer the question, you have to look at where you start from, where you are at the top of the swing, and it's impossible to slow the hips down or try to get your arms coming down faster if you're in positions such as what Tiger's old position was. So just here using the right-sided swing as an example, and why we can get our players to slow their hips down and get their arms to feel like they're coming down first, is basically a big difference in the setup position. So with Tiger's old swing, he's way further back, a lot of weight on the right side and a lot of spine tilt, and that really gets him in the position that that makes him have to do that. Because we set up a little more forward and we don't shift, we just coil. Camera move there. It's got to be a different down move, basically because of where it starts from and where he is at the top. You won't get that big fast spin with the hips and the straightening of the left leg. Our players will look more like they're still back where they are at impact, where they were at the start. You see with Tiger there, the hips are a lot more cleared out and his body looks a lot twisted. This one looks more what we call front on, and just allows the arms to come around in front. Less stress on the legs.